Hello, third grade. Welcome back to Third Grade Online with Miss Nazaripour. We're talking about functional text this week, and functional texts are the kind of texts that help us to do something. And today I'm going to introduce you to a kind of functional text that we haven't talked about yet. Yesterday we made paper airplanes with a functional text that gave us the directions for doing and making things. Today we are going to learn how calendars work as a functional text. Bumpy, to help us know something. So together we're going to read a calendar and see how the author decided to organize the functional text to make it easier for us to understand. And here is the calendar I was talking about. This functional text is the Lincoln School Lunch Calendar, and it tells the lunch menu for the week of May 21st through the 25th. I bet those of you who eat school lunch at school are familiar with reading a calendar like this. The first thing I notice is that this calendar is in what we call a table. It's got columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each of those columns has a heading. And here, because it's a calendar, the heading is the day of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then right underneath it has the date. And then if you take a look at Monday, May 21st, the students had a choice of deli ham and cheese sandwich with lettuce and tomato, or a vegetarian sandwich, snack mix, and a fruit cup. The next day, you can tell what the students had by looking at that next column. On Tuesday, May 22nd, they had homemade turkey with mashed potatoes and gravy, or a veggie burger with lettuce and tomato. They could choose from a mixed green salad with veggie sticks on top and fresh fruit. The following column tells us what the students had to choose from on Wednesday, May 23rd. Fish nuggets with dip or veggie sticks with hummus. They could choose from a dinner roll, low-fat ice cream, or strawberries with yogurt dip. In the following column, we see what the students could choose from on Thursday, May 24th. They could have homemade lasagna with meat sauce and vegetable, or vegetarian lasagna, breadsticks, and fresh fruit. And the last column tells us what they could eat on Friday, May 25th. Pepperoni pizza or cheese pizza, veggie sticks with dip, and a fruit cup. Now, third graders, pay attention to these little dots here at the end. You see, they're actually little asterisks. If you take a look down here, this is what we call a legend. The legend tells special things about the text. So here, I see one asterisk, and I know down here that means it contains pork. And 2 asterisks means it's a vegetarian selection. So if I didn't want to eat pork, I would know that I'd have to stay away from any lunch entree that has 1 asterisk, like that one. And the pepperoni pizza. And if I wanted to eat only a vegetarian entree, I would look for the 2 asterisks, like the vegetarian sandwich, the veggie burger, the veggie sticks with hummus, vegetarian lasagna, or veggie sticks with dip. That is called a legend. Now, the author has chosen to use these text features, to use columns and column headings, to use the legend, to put a title at the top, to help us better understand what we need to know from this text. These are all text features. All of these organizational tools help us better understand the text. Just like in any other nonfiction, when the author does that, we call these text features. Now, third graders, if you come across a calendar, be sure to look to see if the author chose to use columns and headings and titles to help you better understand. Okay, third graders, I have some more functional text for you to help you understand all the different ways authors create text to help people out. So this first one that I want to talk about is a label. This functional text will go on a bottle of bubbles. And on that bottle of bubbles, you would find out that if you were 2 years old, you probably should not be using this because it's for ages 3 and up. You would also learn that if you got that there's a warning on it to keep away from your eyes because soap may cause stinging. Another text feature that you may have seen before is an invitation. An invitation has to give you a lot of information. It's got to tell you whose party it is, where the party is, when the party is. It's got to tell you the time the party is, and also what you're celebrating. So for this one, we know that we're celebrating Brady turning 8 with a picnic birthday party. We know the date, the time, and the place. It tells us to RSVP. We RSVP to make sure that they have enough food for us when we get there. Another text feature you may have seen is a receipt. A receipt is something that tells you how much things cost. So here you can see that things have been what we call itemized. That means that it tells us exactly how much each item cost. I know that this person spent $4.08 on apples, $3.99 on bread, and so on. Then at the bottom, it adds up all the different amounts that was spent on the food, and then it adds in the tax to get the grand total. Here's another text feature like one we have in our classroom. It is a chart that tells who has what job. For instance, we know that Emma's job is to pass out papers. If I was in this class, I would really want Molly's job watering plants, and I would not want David's job of feeding the fish. I always forget. Here's another text feature, one that I bet a lot of you are familiar with. Looking at this text feature last week made me so happy. It's the 7-day weather forecast. Have you seen this on your mom and dad's phones? Well, this one is also a calendar just like the lunch calendar, except instead of telling us food, it tells us the temperature. It is set up just like the Lincoln School lunch calendar. It's got columns, it's got a title and headings. It tells us the high and low temperature. And then look, do you see these little symbols? Symbols are another text feature that functional texts often use to give us more information at a glance. So for instance, I know on Friday, I better bring my rain boots. Some other text features are traffic signs when you're driving, signs that tell us what time stores are open so we go at the right time and don't get locked out. Here's a little note card. If you've written a card to someone, that's a functional text. This one is a thank you card. This one tells us how much rides cost on the carousel. This is an important one. You may have seen this on your in your neighborhoods, reminding people to pick up after their dogs. And this is another label like the bubbles, except it doesn't tell us to keep soap out of our eyes. It tells us that a certain kind of food is organic. So these are some different kinds of text features. I challenge you to look around your home and find out how many different kind of functional texts you see and what text features those functional texts use. And text me, tell me how many you found. Okay, third graders, I went ahead and created a text feature chart with all of the different text features we've been talking about over the last week. And now I want to add another one we learned about today, and that is title, column headings, symbols, and legends. These are the text features that we saw in the 7-day forecast as well as in the calendar. And they help the author organize the text in such a way that makes it really easy for a reader to understand. So the purpose of this text feature is organizes a functional text. when you're going around your house today looking for ways that, looking for different text features that you would find in the house, see if any of those text features use title, columns, column headings. Alrighty, third graders, here's your independent practice for today. Remember that I asked you to go around the house and see all the different places you can find functional texts. Well, pick one of those functional texts and answer these questions. What is the text made to help the reader do? And what is one thing that you learned from the text? The last question you're going to answer is, how did the author organize the text? Remember, think about the text features that the author may have used. Maybe you're finding a forecast that's done in columns. Maybe you're finding an invitation where the author has typed out all of the key information in the bottom. Tell me how the author organized it. When you're done with your answers, go ahead and jot them down and take a picture and either send it to me or email it to your teacher if that's not me. All right, third graders, thank you so much. Go functional text hunting. Have fun. Talk soon.